All right, guys, I believe we're live again. Let's try and do this all over again. This is part two, because apparently on the first one, we had a bit of an issue and we lost the stream. So what I'm doing here right now, and bro, I see a message, but I can't actually answer the message. So what we're doing right now, we're continuing with the stream. We're going to try and see what happened before. This one, yeah, this one's live. Okay, let's stay on this one. I don't know what happened, why it actually died out. But I'm just gonna share this to a few people, a few groups, and then we're gonna continue with what's going on. So anybody who was watching, get them back on and see what's going on. So yeah, this stream just died. I'm not sure what it is. I'm not sure why. I have no idea. So I'm just gonna send this to two groups here. Right, two groups here. I'm not sure what happened. And we can now continue, right? So just two groups on one of my things. So that's it. I'm not going to do anything else. Leave that where it is. Give it a nice little thumbs up. Everything else seems to be okay. I'm going to take the chat out so I can see what's going on in the chat as well. And we should be off to the races. Give me a second, let me pause this. I don't want any bandwidth being taken because I need to stream. Right. All right, bro, you on the chat? You on the live? If you're on the live, please just throw me something to say that you're there, and then we can continue. Because it was a bit silly what just happened there. It was a bit really silly. So let's hope we're back to normal, and try and avoid the what do you call this, bro? Try and avoid the WhatsApp and this and that, because you know when like, I'm trying to control everything on the phone as well. So sometimes when the phone and everything just kicks off, right, I can get disconnected as well. So just to let you know. Again, yeah, so I'm just going to kill all my apps and everything and see if I can restart this. So if you're on the live, please let me know. I'm trying to do a lot more live stream and trying to see, yeah, so everything's broken right now. So anyway, there's no point talking about it. Let's just stick around on the stream and see what's going on. Right, I'm going to take you to a different scene. We continue from there. Right. Move this over too. Okay, so I hope you guys could see what I'm seeing. Hope you guys are back, and I'll try and see if I can do this all over again. So yeah, I'm not even sure who's watching, who's not. But anyway, look, it doesn't matter. Let me just carry on with what I was saying, basically. Yeah, this kind of stuff throws me off a little bit, honestly. It just throws me off because I got really confused. Apparently, when he said I'm lost, he meant the stream was disconnected. And I'm thinking he's lost. So I'm confused and kind of threw me off. So, yeah, there are pros and cons of doing something live. Clearly, sometimes, you know, it can catch you out because you get confused. You don't know what the person's talking about. It can mess us up a little bit. So anyway, let's see what this is doing. Right, like, okay, so let's continue. Actually, not continue. I have to start over again. So let me start over again. Right, let me do this all over again. Welcome to the show, guys. Okay, this is part two of part one, right? Because we had a bit of a mess. Stream died out. If you're new to the channel, like, share, subscribe. I'm going to catch you on another one. You probably heard me mumbling a little bit, talking to myself, but that's what I like to do. I just like to think aloud. So yeah, let's talk about this, right? So we're talking about certain stuff in the market. We're talking about the volume, right? So cryptocurrency volume and what we're seeing. And also on this particular chart, what I was showing you was how we're possibly not out of danger. And obviously I'm showing it without the noise. So this is with the noise, right? When you look at the noise, you can see that we've had a triple bottom. All right, we've had a triple bottom here technically, right? So go 1, 2, 3, a triple bottom. A triple bottom is a bullish pattern, right? However, a triple bottom also has a neckline, and this would be our top of the neckline, and these are our bottom lines, right? And so far we're struggling here. But what I wanted to show you was when you look at the picture, right? When you look at this area without any of the wicks or anything, and just for the body, you're looking at the body, you see a complete different data. What you're seeing here is we had, right, this particular pattern here is like, you know, massive M pattern here. This is what I like to call it, right? And it brought us down. And currently you can see where we are. We've got this pattern forming, we've got the, technically like an inverse, right, head and shoulder type of thing, you can call it, right? And it's brought us down here. So what we're seeing is basically we've got the two candles here, right? So these would be our two double bottom, or whatever you want to call it, right? And currently we're in bear territory. So bears are in control for this particular area. And what we need to do is basically move back above and be bullish, right? So what I think this is the exact location. So what I was saying was we've got a massive high probability, right? A high probability. Thank you very much, bro. I can see you. You're back on. That's good, right? We've got a high probability of coming into this particular resistance line, right? Because remember, this was previous support and now it's new resistance, and we're going to see a dump up to this 25, 26 level, right? Which will complete this kind of a cycle for us. Okay. So we have to see that. Funny thing is higher probability, we have to see the 25, 26, 27K. Even if that happens, I've got a feeling that we might even have a cascading effect to the 20K, because that would be like the perfect perfect support area where we would see the bounce. So for the short term, I could see this unless we see an upside, and there's a very low probability, right? Because, when you look at patterns, you can see how, some areas are in control, right? So here you can see that this particular area here, right, the bears were in control. Very simple to see. You don't need any color candles to see this. You can see the bears were in control. You can see the bulls tried, but the bears were still in control. Bears were in so much control that they managed to pull it down. And we can see this by looking at the candle. You can see these two candles, right? So this is where the bears pulled it down. Bears gave us the first body below this support line, and then now the bulls are here trying to pick it back up, right? So this is still bear territory. Bears are still in control. That's what I want to say, right? So looking at this, we're very close to the line. We might actually see a nice little pump up, but remember, this is just the first time we're tapping this board, the first time we're hitting this resistance. So as much as it is bullish, like on a weekly candle, this is the first weekly candle technically, right? We look bullish, everything looks bullish, but the data suggests something else, right? This is the first time we're trying this, So this looks like it, but it's not. Technically, this is the first time, because remember, this is Saturday, this is us today, Friday, right? What's that? Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. So you can see that we've already been coming down, and this is the first time we're actually knocking on this door. All right, and when we change the chart, take the noise out of the chart, this is what we see. This is what we see the first time here, right? These were brief moments, right? These were in the past, but you can see this is total control, right? Here's an M pattern, breaks down. Here's a bigger M pattern, breaks down, right? Here's a W when the bulls tried to take control, still broken down. So pure bearish control. Right, bears were in control here. Also, another thing I want to show you, if you look carefully, look at this pattern, right? This is the only time the bulls actually took it out of a range, right? So bulls took control, and that control was only here for the past 2 days. And you see this, yesterday and today is the only time bulls have actually been in control. So if that makes any sense to you, right? Because what you need to look at is where have they been in control the most? Who's in control, right? What's going on here? What's the pattern? Look at this parallel pattern, right? So you see this parallel pattern. So I'm drawing it as a parallel pattern. Who's in most control? So far, it's been coming down. But there's a funny fact about this. This is bullish. This is usually a bullish reversal pattern, right? Also known as a descending wedge. Definitely a bullish pattern, right? So the question is when. I don't think it's going to happen overnight. And I want to show you why. And this is why I brought you to this chart, actually. I want to show you why. Because there are some facts on this, and let me get rid of all of this, right? There are some facts on this. It's just unbelievable. So, and I want to show it to a noisy chart because it's going to be easier for you to distinguish the colors, to see why what I'm seeing is kind of concerning me, right? What the hell is it doing? Sorry, I'm just trying to do it with one hand. Let's try and bring some weekly stuff, so it just gives me more data in a shorter, smaller chart, right? Okay, let me show you this quickly, right? Don't make this any long. Just want to show you quickly. So I'm using a Gemini chart. Doesn't matter which chart you use. But I'm just using this chart to show you something in 2016, right? And I'm going to show you this on a year to year basis to show you something. This is, you can call it a coincidence, or you can just call it a pattern, whatever the case is. So what I'm showing you is 2016. This is May, June, right? So we go into May, June, July, right? So we come into July. What do you see in July? You see a dump. So focus on July. You see a dump. When do you see the biggest dump? August, right? So we see July and then we see August. That's what we see. We see this massive candle here. We see this in August. So July month is bearish, looks a bit bullish, but bearish. And then we have a dump, right? And then when do we start moving back up? August, September? No. Have a look. October. So around October-ish, we break this trend. Okay, let's now go to 2017, and I will show you 2017. I mean, this is stupidly, freaky. So we have June, we have July, June, coming into July. See, this is July, this is July, this is July, this is July, and then we move up. So what do you see here? You see this same pattern playing out here as well, right? So we just leave this here. We see this bearishness playing here as well. Okay, so let's move over to the next one, right? So we're tracking it. This is 2016, this is 2017. Now we want to move over to, let's see this one. Yeah, look, May, June, right? So we're looking into this May, June, July, right? That's what we're looking for, right? Where are we? May, June, July. So June, July, that's what we're looking for, June, July, right? We look at June, July. We want to see June, July, right? We've taken it too far, but that's not the point. The point is we're looking at all of this, right? This is what we're seeing, right? But remember the August as well. Remember the August. This was probably the only August. This was probably the only August where we didn't see anything crazy. But remember the August. August is very important as well. All right, this is 2018, 2019. What do you see? 2019, right? Again, look at this. This July month, bearish. Everything else is positive. It doesn't matter what and this is in a bear market, but we still see, this is in a bear market, but we still see that same month with most of the red candles, the same month showing the same thing. I mean, it might just be a coincidence, but where are we now? We're in the July. So if history is to rhyme and show us something, then we know that in the month of August, right, normally we see this, August, we see this massive acid dump, and it seems like the October month is very relevant. Now, we drew this some time ago, not this one, sorry, let me just find this one. We drew this some time ago, about 3-4 weeks ago, we drew this, and we said dump expected to be over on 19th of July. This was the 19th of July, and the dump didn't go over. It was actually on the 21st of July when the dump started to stop. But that wasn't what I was talking about. What a dump means is basically when we talk about the high from here to there, the percentage dump. So this is when the whales will dump all of their profits that they made from here to here. They will start dumping, and this is where they start buying. During this particular time, we can have more dumps. And I've talked about this. I said, you got to understand what this particular expected to be over means. Expected to be over means anybody who bought here or before here, this is 100% profit. So if they dump it here and they rebuy here, then now they bought it back at the same price while keeping the profit. I hope this kind of explains it more simple for you. So this is what I was talking about, nothing else. This is the bigger dump. This is the total dump, like profit taking dump. Then we might see a little bit of a area where we might have consolidation. We might come down a little bit, even go to the lower sides. Those are capitulation areas. Nothing more. But I did specifically say a reversal expected on the 18th of October. That's pretty nuts. I left a date there. But when I went back and looked back at the charts, I realized that this October is very important, right? If you look at October, right, even on these, like this is a bear market, right? This October is very important. I mean, look at this. These Octobers are very important. For some odd reason, majority of the time in a bull run, Octobers are very bullish. Octobers are very bullish. I mean, look at this. This is October. This is a pump in October. This is another pump in October, right? This is kind of insane. When I'm looking at this, kind of insane. It's like, okay, so we see a pump in October. All right. So now I'm going to come back to where I was before. right, to talk about a few other bits and bobs. So yeah, we've talked about this dominance. I think we talked about dominance. See, the thing is, I'm kind of doubling up. So some of this stuff I have talked about. BTC dominance down means alts are going up, right? That's what it is. But at the same time, I was talking about the volume, how the volume is so low. You know, we've only had $4 billion here, $4 billion of volume re-enter in the last 24 hours, $1 billion re-enter in the last 24 hours. When you look at all of this, it doesn't make any sense. You know, these are just small percentage over the 24 hours. But if you look carefully, look at this 90-day, we're still 32% down. Ethereum 90 days. So Ethereum technically is holding better than BTC. BTC is still down over 90 days, 32%. Whereas in Ethereum is down 6%. So Ethereum has performed a lot better. You know, BNB down 40%. You know, so when you look at these bigger datas, right? Okay, I'm not looking at that one. Bigger datas, you can see, I mean, Polkadot, this is a 50% discount. Because a brother asked me earlier on, is it good to buy some more bacon cake? We'll have a look at bacon cake. Cake is a different story. Cake is like Uniswap, right? So Cake is definitely trying to keep up with Uniswap. It's like the Uniswap of Binance, right? That's what it is. So, you know, for that reason, it'd probably be worth holding on to some Cake. Now, you know, here we are. You got a 54% discount over the last 90 days. But just wait for it before I say anything, right? Just wait for it. So you got, this is Pancake, right? Cake. Let's have a look if Bake is here. I know Bake took a bit of a hit. And Bake is like the challenger. So think about Pancake, Cake as the Uniswap and Bake as the sushi, right? If that makes any sense. So that's what they are. I want to see if I can find it. It's probably disappeared from this page. Some of these coins, they got hit really hard. They got taken off the page. They're probably in the top 200 now. Let's have a look and see. I mean, this is a top 100 coin. Now it's on top 200. It just dumped. Have a look. You know, this dump, this is the thing. You see, when, you know, sometimes when BTC dumps, of course, just lost, you know, say for example, you bought it for 10K, you lost 20K. Sorry, you bought it for 10K and you pumped up and then you had a 50%. You're still not that bad. But when it comes to these coins, you know, you enter, and I mean, look at this. We're on top 300 page right now, and Bake has just vanished. Let me see if I can search Bake. This is what's happened. So Bake has got hit hard, the market cap. So it's actually now Bakery Select. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at this. Where did Bakery go? What position did it go to? Rank 98. So it's still on the top 100. Okay, so it's still on the top 100. Damn, it's up 16%. It's not bad. It's not bad. So let's go back into the top 100. So apparently it's ranked 98. So it was on this page. I didn't see it. How come I didn't see it? Where? Oh, it's 96 today. Okay. So today it did a 17% pump. That's why. And Bakery is up 60%. Bakery in the last 90 days up 60%. So you have to really be careful. Really be careful basically what you buy and not. But what I'm going to suggest, right, what I'm going to say to you guys, and this is what I wanted to show you, right? So I wrote this, I don't know if you noticed this on yesterday's video. It was there the whole time, but I never spoke about it, right? I wrote this material there, but I never said anything. So on yesterday's showing in the bottom there, this is what this box means. This is the official bear market. If we re-enter this zone, the 25K, we're going to see a cascading effect where it brings us down, right? And even possibly to the 20K. That's what we're going to see. But just before we re-enter this area, so you see this, I put two arrows. So this is a line. This is the Fibonacci support. This is the Fibonacci 618 line of support, which is the 27K, right? Now, if we, for whatever reason, come into this level and we cannot hold this as a last line of defense, and we enter this, so up to this empty area, we're fine, it's not a problem. But if we enter this box, this rectangle here, this particular area here, then we are going to see it come down. Now we might have a nice little support around this particular area here where I've drawn this box, right? And this box has been there for some time, so I just want to explain why this box is there and how much more it does. And I think I drew it in front of you guys, but there's a lot more obviously that I'm thinking in my head that I haven't really explained. All right, so what you got here is this area here. This is going to be our, so this is our last line of Fibonacci support. If we break this and we cannot find any support on the top line, or on the bottom line, then expect us to go even down even further, because that will be the avalanche effect that will take us down even further to the 20k level, right? Or probably even below 20k or something. So yeah, that's what I want to say basically here. So this is just as a warning, understand this. Now on the top side, right? So you're probably asking, okay, that's fine. We can see the bottom side. What's the upside news here right now? Well, what I'm looking at is these areas here. And obviously everybody's getting excited because, you know, we're finding, or like, oh, we're moving back up again. And these are good. By the way, these are good candles. Don't get me wrong. These are absolutely good candles. But the show's not over. You see, the trend's not over. Remember, we have a greater trend line here, right? A massive, massive greater trend line here. This is a greater trend line, right? And then we have another medium range trend line, which we just broke, by the way, and we got in. So this trend line was holding around these levels. We got in. And as I explained before as well, as time progresses, right, the lower the price gets, the easier it is for us to break this resistance. But then what happens, it's harder for us to get back up to the upper trend line, right? Because we've got all of this money to come back into the system, right? We're talking about billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars coming into this until we get to this 40k or 40, yeah, approximately 40,000 or 41,000, you can call it 41k. Until we get to the neckline, until we get to this particular area, right? Until we get to this specific area, so this specific area, I wouldn't buy anything. So bro, coming back to you regarding your bacon cake and any other coins you want to buy, being honest with you, right? I'm being completely honest with you. You don't want to touch anything, because what could happen, and this is what you need to understand. So far we've had, you know, these are the patterns, right? So let's just, I just want to show you something. This is insane. And I don't use the line all the time, but I just want to show you something. If you look carefully, so we took all of the noise out of the chart, right? So this is the noise, and this is without the noise. Without the noise, right? Of course, we're in a slight bullish trend, but there's a lot more going on here. If you look carefully, I'll show you. It will be here. This would be the level here. So if we did do this, right? So definitely we're in a bullish, without the noise we're talking about. So we're not talking about the total chart with the candle. We just peaked. Now, when we peak like this, traditionally what we will do is obviously create something and go up, but we are going to come down here somewhere. So if you look carefully, where this level is lower. You're actually going to be able to pick it up lower, provided we can hold this support. If we don't hold support and we come here and we struggle, we might come down. Then you know, come back down here again, find support here. So regardless which way, anybody who's got discipline and who's patient, right, you'll be all right. Just be patient, because there's a lot of noise on the chart. I mean, if I activate the noise again, you can see what I mean. There's a lot of noise on the chart, which doesn't actually give you a clear picture of where we are, what we're doing. So use this to your advantage. Use the line whenever you can to get rid of the wicks and everything. I mean, we can use the wicks for other patterns, but ultimately when you're looking for the actual data, remember, the body is the data. This is data, right? This is the data. But when you're looking at the actual wicks, that's the story. So we like the story as well as the data in some points, but sometimes we just got to ignore everything and just look for the main thing. So on the upside, I could see, you know, this, us even crossing this 36 level, even crossing this, we are going to see a dump around these levels here. We are going to see a dump around these levels here. And the dump could be big, because anybody who's buying it now, so for example, if some institutions have decided to come in and pick it up down these levels here, this was their buy area, this was institutional buy, this was institutional buy. And for example, this guy bought it, he never sold. This guy bought it here, but never sold, right? He missed it, so he's still waiting. He bought some more here, still waiting. Well, he needs to make profit. Just by buying here and dumping here, he's not going to make much. He's only going to make a small percentage. So if he wants to make a nice, decent amount of gain, and I'm talking about institutional manipulation in some sense or another, but mostly profit taking, what they're going to do is they're going to basically come here and say, for example, where is it? There are, right? He's going to come here. He bought it here basically, right? Let's just say he bought here. He bought it here. He's going to wait. He's going to wait until we come to these levels here. right? He's going to wait until we come to these level here, most probably around this particular area, which is the 41,000 level, right? But he's gonna wait to catch everybody out, because that's when he makes a decent percentage, right? If you look at the percentage, right, and any investor would do that. So if you picked it up here, you got lucky and you timed it and you picked it up here, this is where you make a decent amount of money. You know, at the same note, right, if you picked it up, right, and you picked it up here, and you say, for example, you picked it up here and you just sold it on this candle, you make 22%. So you 22 or 50%, which one? You know what I mean? So sometimes this is what people do. They will double up, right? Anybody like myself, same thing. We double up, right? You double up, and you bought some here, and you pick up the other bottoms. You pick up every bottom, right? You have your buy orders. Remember, when we were sitting at what, 45k, I was talking about how I had a buy order at 30k. You know, I also told you guys how I had a buy order at 19k, and I still do have that buy order at 19k. We've never seen a 19k, so why would I put a 90k buy order? Well, why not? You know what I mean? Why not have a ridiculous buy order at some ridiculous price just in case? And a lot of people do this. And we remember, we already knew about the 30k. So everybody had a buy order at the 30k, right? So I just wanted to show you this. Also, yesterday I sent a message out to the group as well. And I don't know who watched it or who didn't. But look, exactly where we faced resistance, basically, right? Because this is the point where I drew these two boxes, right? This box was already drawn. This was a new box that I put there. You know, and it can't be a coincidence that exactly at that point we find that problem, because this is an area. If you remember, each box represents an area. So this is high traffic, low traffic, but still resistance. This is still a resistance box, and we just peaked above, we got rejected. So we have to see what we do. Now, one of the things that I am looking for is this Sunday, coming Sunday, tomorrow, basically. If nobody dumps, then we could potentially see us touching this top level, right? But what I'm saying, remember guys, this is not over, right? Because when we're looking at stuff on a daily, we're not seeing the full data. We've got to really jump into the weekly to see the full data, right? And this is what you're seeing, or the monthly for, you know, if we have to as well, go into the monthly. That's when you get to see some insane data. That's when you get to understand that, hold on, what's really going on in these charts, right? Are we actually bullish? Are we actually bearish? What are we? If you can see here, right, this is the monthly. You did not see this data, but now you're seeing this, right? So for example, what I'm trying to show you, and the chart won't even go, funny thing is the chart won't go any bigger, but I'll try and see if I can. This is hilarious, right? Because obviously there's a lot of data here, but I want to show you. Look where this channel, this monthly channel, look where we've got the lowest of the low, the one that basically gives us the 25k to the 21k. This is the one here. Look where the body of this candle is. It's inside this resistance. It's not a bad resistance. This was the heaviest resistance. This is the resistance, but you can see where the body is. It's sitting on it. You can see where this resistance is. This body was just below this. You see this, and you can see this line belongs to this. You see what I'm trying to say? You can see the resistance here is just below this. So we're using a lot of data points, a lot of things to actually find where we will find problems and where the resistance is, and if we can break those. Also, if you look at this monthly candle, you can see this was a lower low, lower low, a lower low, right? We're still very low. We haven't had a higher low. We haven't had a lower high. We need a green candle at some point. Even if we don't, at least even if we get a red candle, but if it's a higher, that gives us a good sign to say that we're moving back up again. Okay. So just so, you know, I just hope you understand how this works, right? You know, you can see different data points in different time zones, but the bigger the time, better it is, basically. You know, the longer the time, stronger the time, right? Stronger the data. So that's what we look at. And so far, this is what we're seeing, you know, and I'm thinking, okay, we might enter these zones here this month, maybe, or even next month, maybe. But I think we are going to see one more dump. And then after that one dump, we're going to go. And I believe that dump is going to shake out all the weak hands in the alts. So once all the alts are shaken out, then basically move up again, you know. So let's see what happens. And plus, remember, in August, we've got the EIP 1559 as well. Maybe a lot of people are waiting for that. There's going to be a lot of drama around that as well, remember. So let's see. So that's why I wanted to show you this chart and everything as well, how it's looking basically, and obviously why I'm expecting a reversal, expecting on the October. It seems to make sense, and we did this based on a different maths actually. I remember we did this months ago. We did it on a video, well, weeks ago, if not months. But the point is we were doing maths on when do reversal patterns happen based on previous history, and this was all counted from the previous history. But I never realized that it had something to do with the actual August, June, July, August, so May, June, July, August, September, October. These few months, I never realized this, but now when I went back and I kept on looking, you kind of keep on looking at these charts, you finally realize that actually these months have something to do with it. These months seem to come up over and over again and seem to always have a problem at these times. Also, if you look at this, you can see the divergence. You can see we're still in a bearish divergence. Also, there's an indicator I would love you guys to go and check. It's called linear regression by DGT. Just type in DGT, you'll see it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch off the drawings just to show you what he shows. He does it very nice. So on a linear regression on the weekly, as you can see, he's showing it's very positive. That's fine. It's gone a daily. Guess what? We're bearish, right? Somehow, his indicator is fairly good. I like the way it works, right? So it's fairly good. If you can see, it shows you if we're bullish or bearish. Just on putting a different time table, you can put it on a 4-hourly, and look on a 4-hourly. You can see on a longer time frame we're bearish. On a short time frame we're bullish. You see this, right? So you can straight away you can see. So you've probably seen this on some charts before. I don't use it all the time, but it's a really cool indicator just for you to understand, just by using the lines, because sometimes people don't know where to put the trend lines. They don't know where to draw them. Well, you don't need to. This algorithm will draw it completely for you and show you on the time frame. But remember, the longer the data, the stronger the data, right? So you might see some really fascinating patterns. Oh, we're very bullish on an hourly, but that's only if you're trading an hourly. If you're not trading on an hourly, you want to look at a higher time frame. So if you're saying, okay, I'm 4-hourly, well, that's fine, that's 4-hourly, But then when you look at the bigger data on the daily, we're not bullish at all. So I hope this one kind of helps you. It's called the linear regression by DGT. I'll show you what I mean. DGT, just type in DGT and it will come up, and you can see this one here. He's got quite a bit. Linear regression. Oh, this one here, look. Linear regression channel curve slope by DGT, right? It's got about 1,582. It's pretty cool just to kind of, without drawing anything, just to see what the market's doing on that time frame. So it's not a fixed thing. This is why obviously I still prefer doing my own thing where it's fixed, right? I'm not, my channels are not going to change every minute. But if you do want to see something very easy, then use something like this and it will show you what's going on. So yeah, cut the long story short, what are we expecting in the short term or the long term, right? In the short term, I'll tell you what we're expecting, and I'm going to be completely honest with you. I'm expecting us to pump up a little bit, maybe even up to the 40k, and then a massive dump. I'm telling you right now. I'm expecting us and then have a sudden dump. Boom. We're going to see that. That's what I'm expecting. After we have that, then what I see is something different. So what we're going to see is up, massive dump, right, to the bottom of the channel. Actually, to be precise, and I'll tell you this is insane, right? So we're going to see pump up to here somewhere, and then we're going to see a dump up to this line. So I'm following these trend lines, and then we're going to see the massive move up, right? So just hope this kind of makes sense. But this is more highly likely. So the probability of this pattern playing out is higher. Probability of us playing this pattern, for example, so the pattern everyone might think, oh, we're going to go up and we're going to go all the way up, very low, very low. This is like 0.1% chance of us actually doing this. 0.1% chance of us doing it. This is insane. It's just not going to work. We are more likely to do this in a short term, right, which is highly likely, and then if we want to balance it out and say, okay, we're not going to see up, we're not going to see this, what if we have an even balance? For that ratio, what we got is we can see something like this here, and then shoot up here, and then shoot down all the way here, and then do this. that is the pattern that is going to be the strongest. This has a more of a, I would say about 99% chance of actually succeeding. You know, anything in between that, I don't think it will succeed. So yeah, I hope this kind of makes sense. You know, I'm not going to put any price or anything like this, guys, because this is not about price right now. This is about discipline, understanding that there is a dump coming. Okay, remember the channel logo, it says expect the pump after a dump. Well, the opposite is also true. Expect dump after a pump, right? And that's why I'm saying to you, be careful, don't dabble in anything, just wait for it, because this is what happens when Bitcoin does 1-2%, everybody else just pumps as well. Bitcoin is the reason why it's pumping. But until Bitcoin, you know, decides what to do, just be careful, because money is coming into all these alts, right? But you got to be careful. If you're not already hodling, right, you're not already invested in it. I mean, if you're going to be a long term, then of course, if it's a good project, you can double down on it at these discounts, right? These are discounts. Of course, you can buy at any price if you're going to be holding. But if you're buying it just for the pump, you got to be really careful, because what's going to happen? We are going to have a dump soon, right? We are going to see a massive red candle, right? A few red candles that's going to bring us back, because when we go up, we have to come and test the lines. Right, when we go up, we have to come and test the lines, and one of those things means testing the line means, for example, I'm going to leave this there for a second just so I can show you what I mean. Right, so this is a trend line, and so far we've just gone up, right, and we're currently testing these lines, which is fine, but we're always going to go up and down. And for those kind of stuff, you need to see, you need to go into a shorter time frame to understand, right, how this whole pattern works. Nothing goes up straight, up and down, confirmation, right? So far, I can tell you this, most of the traders are not even touching this, because what they see this. They say, okay, this is the pattern they see, check this out. So they see this, they go like this, they say, okay, fine. Oh, we broke below. Oh, we tested it, we broke below. We tested it, we broke below, we tested it, finally broke above. Okay, fine, we came back and tested it. You can call it testing. All right, we tried the resistance. Well, we failed. We tried again, 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 we failed. And finally, we tried it and we broke it, but we haven't confirmed it. Does that make any sense to you? Right? That's what the traders see. So there's a story in all of this. The traders are seeing this, right? The big boys, the professionals are saying, well, we broke it, but we haven't tested it yet. We need to test that exact point of breaking. This particular level here is exactly what we need to test. That's what we're looking for. This is why I said there's a high likely, there's a big probability, massive chance, right? You know, I'm saying 1% to, you know, go all the way to the moon, 0.1% to go to the moon, but 99.9% that we are going to do this move here, breakout point, before we do the shift. You know, whether it happens today, whether it happens tomorrow, whether it happens in a week's time, we don't know, but it's coming. You know, and that's the higher probability pattern that we're going to be seeing. And the same applies when we go here. We're going to test it. We're going to test it a few times. We're going to bounce on it a few times until we basically probably even break down again. So it's not over, you know. So just hope this kind of makes sense. Yes, bro, definitely. ETH will do exactly the same thing. So if we basically go into an ETH chart, so let me find the ETH chart, right? It will probably do the same thing. Now, ETH, a lot of people are saying how it's kind of broken its tether. So it's not tether like, you know, correlation to BTC. Definitely has broken its correlation a little bit, right? So this is the pattern. But what you can see is my patterns. So for example, let me do this right now while I'm here. Give me a second. I have to adjust this one line. This line here. So if I just take this one line, not this, you see I'm using the line to make sure my patterns doesn't change. So there we are, right? So now I can adjust this, right? Let me just adjust this a little bit. I'm doing this live with you guys so you understand what's going on, and I can adjust this as well, right? So this is just live, just to kind of adjust and show you what's really going on in the charts, right? So you see this massive trend line here, right? And we have a nice little convergence point pretty much around this price level. So I can also adjust this as well. So this is easier to adjust, put it here, right? What you see is this is going to be a massive area for us to break through. But currently, which is good, we're in the channel, we're inside the channel. But even inside the channel, right? As you can see, we just broke out. We haven't come back to test. The break point has to be tested. So if you look at this, same story, right? This is the same story. We broke below. Sorry, give me a second. Right, let's do this and show you what I mean. Right, let's show you this. You'll understand what it is, right? It's a story. It's always got a story. When you're looking at this, you got a story. So the point where you break down, right? So we broke down, you know, bulls try to bring it back, fail, you know, up again, testing, fail, test again, fail, test again. And while we're doing this, we're creating new trends, right? You know, we come here, we test, fail, test, you know, we tested, and then we finally broke above. This was when everyone thought it got excited, and then it basically tested again, and it couldn't hold it. It just broke below. And since then, as you can see, this is the same pattern it's been playing, and finally we broke above. Now, finally we broke above. We need to actually come back and test this one line again in order to confirm it. So there's one of two scenarios we have to play right now, right? So there's one of two scenarios actually. So this is quite funny, right? So we've obviously broken this line. So number one thing we will expect, right, and this is what everybody's going to expect, is the point that we broke out here. We're going to come back to test this line. Or what we can do is something slightly different, and this is quite cool actually. This changes everything. So if we do not test this, guys, sorry, I didn't say this before, but this is really cool. So we break out, but what we do is we create a new low, a new point, and we got to do it on a higher time frame. Remember, guys, you don't do it on a daily. You got to do it on a weekly or something like this. But we create. So what you're looking at. Hold on, let me take this off. Right. Let's take this off. So what you're looking at is we've got this candle here, and we create a brand new candle, a weekly candle here, which is higher. Right? If we can have a candle here, which with a body above this, that's a higher low. What that does is changes everything for us. So that way we don't have to worry about these daily patterns that you're seeing, right? These breakout patterns that we're seeing, this breakout pattern, we don't have to worry about this. We don't need that. So far you can see that these lines were our resistance and support lines. We've confirmed them, that's fine. But this trend line hasn't been confirmed, and that's what you have to be worried about. Remember, breaking above doesn't mean anything if the trend line hasn't been confirmed yet. But if we have a weekly, right, a weekly close like this, and it closes here, and then it continues, that is a continuous pattern. That can actually create a brand new trend here. So what that would do, it's because it will start off here somewhere, then what I will have to do is change my trend line and draw something like this from here to here and use these candles. Does that make any sense to you? So that's when this trend line, for example, this area here will change to this area, because that would become our new trend line. Does that make any sense? So this is the other possibility that could happen. So for example, let's go back to BTC USD and I'll show you this. Where was I? Yeah, so here basically, right? So if we do get that area, was it this one? Yeah, trend line. That's all we do, right? So currently our trend line is here. I mean, in my case, I won't change the trend line because these are still valid trend lines. I'm not going to change them. What I'm going to do is when I see a brand new trend forming, I'll just draw a new trend. But for me to draw the new trend, I need a weekly close. I need a weekly close to confirm that that's where the new range is. And then what I'll do is I'll put a line through here. Very simple. The first when I start drawing, I'll put a line around here somewhere because tomorrow's Sunday, for example. So I'll put it for a Sunday candle. So I'm making room for the Sunday candle. Put it here. And that would be my new range. And once I have my new range, then I can actually say what's the distance between the range. What am I expecting? And I'll do the maths based on that. Pretty simple. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do, because what we're going to look for is the top of the range, sorry, the support of the range and the lowest point of the range to see what's going to happen. You know, it's a very simple method. I'll show you tomorrow if need be, but that's what's going to happen. We have to come and touch this trend, right? That your trend is not on the horizontal. Sorry, this horizontal. Your trend is always diagonal. Remember, it is not vertical, it is not horizontal. Your trend is always diagonal. Now, diagonal up or diagonal down. That is your trend. But we will always come and respect and touch that trend line, confirm that before we move forward. So yeah, I mean, other than that, is there anything else you guys want to know about? You know, because this is what we're expecting, guys. You know, this is what we're really expecting, because if you look at the patterns, you can see it. You know, it's all there in the patterns. All the patterns are speaking and screaming to us. They're saying that we are going to see this. And remember, like, this is Elliott wave, right? So remember, on Elliott wave, we also have Elliott wave where we have a mini Elliott wave within a wave. So this could easily be one of those situations where we might have one of these. Now, based on the Elliott wave and based on the Fibonacci, remember, this Fibonacci line is going to be respected. It's always been respected. It will be respected this time as well. So yeah, let me know if there's anything else. If not, then yeah, I hope you understand, bro. So yeah, if you're gonna buy cake, bake cake, whatever you want to buy, right, you're not already holding it, my opinion is don't worry too much about it. Listen, sometimes, of course, there are coins out there who do 100x, 200x. But what you have to also understand is these coins that we're talking about in this cycle, especially some of the top coins which were sitting at pennies for last few years, and it's even some of them who just launched for a few pennies. They've already done their 100x. They've already done their 200x. Now, what's the probability? How much are you really going to make? If you haven't already bought it, how much are you really going to make? You know, and the idea is, even if you do buy it, I mean, even now, if you do buy it, and I'm not a financial advisor, you know, if you make 10%, 15%, 20%, you take your initial out and leave the 15%. So that way it doesn't hurt you. Do you know what I mean? So that's the most important thing you got to do, is you got to be able to get in. You can't time the bottom. You can't time the top. Remember that. Nobody can time the top. Nobody can time the bottom. You know, we don't know how it reacts. Remember this, right? So BTC does 3%. Bake does not. Bake does 17%, right? I mean, look at that, 18%, right? So this is what you understand. Like, you know, these coins have already, even in the last 90 days, it's still up. It's still pumping. And I forgot if I don't know if I told you guys. You know, I bought this coin accidentally. I was supposed to buy Pancake, and I ended up buying Bake for some odd reason. I don't know how, but I ended up buying Bake by accident, and it's done a lot of percentage for me. Let's put it this way. Even now, I'm still up 200%. Do you see what I mean? It's just, it's one of those, like, you know, it was nothing. It was an accidental buy. So I obviously, as soon as that happened, I doubled down, right? I doubled down. I bought more, and currently, even now, I'm still up. I'm still up more than 150%. So you see what I mean? Even the dump didn't affect me, because yes, I bought it at a very low price, and then I also bought it at a higher price, but my average cost is about a quarter of this, probably. So if that makes any sense, so my average cost is actually way less than now. I'm still in profit. I can cash out right now, and I'm still in profit. You know. So this is the kind of stuff you have to understand. Obviously, with this, I don't really have too much invested in it. I'm not that fast. As I said, it's like you know, like how Uniswap and SushiSwap are, like, you know, competitors. Well, Bakery and Pancake are pretty much the same thing. You know. And Binance is coming, Binance Chain, like BNB, where these projects exist, right? They're up and coming. I see a lot of projects right now, because I speak to a lot of developers, and I've noticed a lot of developers are now starting to build on Binance or BSC, and starting to build on Polygon. So another one is Polygon, right? And, you know, when they're launching projects on Binance, for example, they're using Bakery token. Bakery, they're using Pancake, right? Now, only one reason developers are doing this, from what I've gathered, and everyone's actually openly said to me, is solely because of the fees. They just don't want to pay the Ethereum fees. The Ethereum gas fees is just ridiculous. Ethereum fees, you can't do anything, you know. So they're now actually building on these projects. Actually, Cardano's launching their NFT protocol very soon as well. So I'm waiting for that one. I forgot the name. I'm going to be waiting for that one to see how it is. I'm not talking about investing in NFT, but I'm going to be probably investing in the project itself. So I'm not sure. I'm going to be waiting for that one, right? I mean, Polkadot, that's a bargain. Look at that, 55% discount. That's a bargain. That's a bargain. I remember someone said recently about something else. They said, well, look at this price. You get buy one, get one free. At this price, you buy one, get one free, because this is like massive discount. You get buy one free. So I like the way the person said it. It was just brilliant, right? But this is what you got to realize when you look at these bigger data. These are still your discounts. And currently we're up. But remember one thing, guys. Never buy on a green candle. Whenever you see a green candle like this, right, and all of this green, well, expect a red just after that. There's a red coming. So if it went up 4%, it will go down 4%, you know? So don't buy today, wait for it to go down that 4% and then pick it up. Nothing goes up straight all the way, right? So just wait for it, be patient. That's all I'm going to say. Just be patient. If you've got some cash, if you've got some paper sitting around, keep it. You never know. If you run out of bog rolls, you might be able to use it. But other than that, right now, I wouldn't touch anything. I would just wait. I'm not joking. I would just wait, right? Because this is going to come back to test this, right? Just think of this line. Just think of these lines. So these dotted lines, right? So this is the dotted line I'm going to be looking at. This particular point here, this 29K, this is going to come back to touch this. And if it fails, then it's going to go to this level here, which is the currently showing at 28, and then probably even come down all the way down to this 26,393 showing, but it's actually more like not 26. It's probably more like 27. So you're going to see this. You're going to see this. So. Right, I hope. Sorry, who's messaging me? Okay. Who the hell is that? Oh, someone's looking at C98. Yes, C98, bro, is a new coin that just launched today. It's actually a sale, so you can actually go and buy some for your BNB. I did see it. I was invited, but I wouldn't touch it. I've looked at C98. I've gone to the forums and everything as well. I've talked to a few developers, and I don't think majority of the people, so whoever's buying it are clearly amateurs, right? But majority of the people didn't like how the project is working. Number one, the project doesn't allow you to have your own wallet. So they have their own wallet that they've made. So I have to put my coins in your wallet. So where's the decentralization in that? And there's a lot of stuff. Basically, it's basically just another Uniswap spruced up, made look nice, nothing more. But unlike Uniswap, which is basically self-custody, means your coins are yours, right? They want you to send your coins to them and do whatnot. So I wasn't quite happy. I said, look, I'm going to wait for C98, see what happens. So yeah, it just launched today. So if you see 103% pump, it's not a pump. It's basically from 0 to 103. That's the price. Just doing price discovery. The price was zero. Not zero. It was 75 cents when it launched, actually. So they pre-sold to investors for, I think, 25 cents. And then for retail, they priced it at 75 cents. So, you know, if it's gone up 103%, expect a dump. And the dump will bring it back to about 25 cents. So just wait for the dump, bro. Just wait for the dump. So C98, I know the coin you're talking about. In fact, it's probably here as well. Let me show you C98. C98. Yeah, it just launched today, basically. Launched on Binance today. So this is the pump. It's gone to, yeah, 94%, $1.61. But you can see this is the launch, right? This is the launch. And before the launch, you can see the price was nothing. This is when they sold it to some institutions, and this is when they basically, you know, raised some funds and whatnot, and this and that, and the launch. So you can see all of this stuff. I mean, there's a lot of pre-buys happening, and obviously you're going to see a massive dump coming. I wouldn't bother too much about this, right? I mean, this is the last 24 hours. Look at this, 530% volume. You know, it's just ridiculous. But yeah, I'll hold back. But as I was saying, this is for me, when I looked at it, right? It's an Ethereum smart contract and this and that. They launch it with MetaMask, but when you go here and you say, okay, fine, you know, this is what, okay, let's start now. Yes, all DeFi solution in one. Let's start now and watch what the problem is. This is the exchange. I'm showing it to you and you'll understand what I mean. Look here. Can you look on the, oh, you can't see. I just wanted to show you. So this is hilarious. On the top, right, if you go to this exchange, it says https exchange.coin98.com PancakeSwap. So this is a copy of PancakeSwap, nothing else. It's just PancakeSwap. So when we go here, it's asking you to, you know, your wallet. This is their wallet. This is their wallet. This Coin98 looks like, to me, from what I'm seeing, and I'm on a test wallet right now, everything here looks like it's Pancake. It's just rebranded, redone up, made look nice. That's what it is. But I don't want to give you my keys. You know, I want to keep my funds in my own MetaMask or something like this. I don't want to deal with your stuff. So, you know, I don't know how great this is, and I'm going to